Hey folks, it's Owen here from the Scottish History Podcast. Because it's now October and it's cold, it's about time that people start making soup. So I'm going to make some homemade soup today, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's a very, very easy thing to do, but I just thought this would be a fun idea for a video. So we're going to be making, if I turn this camera around, we're going to be making leek and potato soup. Now, I did some research on it, as in just typed into Google, and it said it was Welsh. But who cares? My name is Welsh, so my name might be Welsh, and I am Scottish, so here we go. So we've got some potatoes. We've got about 1 kilogram of potatoes. We've got an onion, 2 vegetable stock pots. You can use whichever type that you prefer, but vegetables better. And then 2 leeks. I'm going to chop this bit off and this bit off. Just use the bit in the middle. And a big soup pot. And a boiled kettle. So, let's give that a try. Right, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to wash your potatoes. So, put them in just some cold water. That's all I do. I don't mean like scrub them clean with thingy, but you just want to just wipe the potatoes down with your hands. Make sure that you've got any of the dirt off and stuff like that. Okay, so next up, once you've washed the potatoes, you want to peel them, so that all the skin's off. You could probably leave the skin on if you want. It's, I don't know. Also, if I ever find out the inventor of this thing, this specific potato peeler, let's see, Joy or whatever, please rethink. This is the worst potato peeler I've ever had the misfortune of using. It only works one way, and you've got to it's rubbish. Right, so we're going to chop up the potatoes in a bit, but what we're going to do first is chop up this leek. Now, I can't do it one-handed, so basically you're going to chop that bit off, the heel bit, and then you're going to chop maybe from there, like where the leaves start. So you want to chop this, chop it in half, and then wash the leek. So you want to rinse out the insides of the leek because there could be nasty beasties hiding inside it. Okay, so you've chopped up your leeks. The best thing about a leek is the fact that they kind of fan out on the inside, so when you're washing them, they kind of do that, so it makes it much easier. So what you want to then do is chop these up as small as you want. I like quite big strips, and then fire them in there. Okay, so there's your leeks in there. What we're now going to do is we're now going to peel and chop an onion. The smaller the better for the amount in which we're using. We're going to be using about, 2 pints? Yeah, about 2 pints of water or something like that. So, yeah. Peel, chop, onion. Fire it in there. Alright, so we've got the onions and the leeks in there. Then what you want to do is chop up those potatoes. Chop up them tatties. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use one of these. So 1 pint, I think you can see there. Yeah, there's 1 pint, which is half a litre. Or just less than half a litre. What you're going to do is put 2 of these in. 2 full ones of these. So 2 pints or 1 full litre of water in there with 2 stock pots, and then turn on the heat. Okay, so I've got the water. So again, 1 full litre or 2 pints of water, maybe just a little bit extra for luck. In there with 2 stock pots. If you don't use stock pots, use stock cubes. 2 or 3, I would imagine, would be good enough. And just basically stir that. The heat's already on, so just basically start to let it boil. I'm just making sure that the stock pots have completely dissolved. And then once they are dissolved, I'm going to put the tatties in. I think we've got maybe some stuck on the bottom here. So yeah, we're going to put the tatties in and basically let them boil away, and we'll check it. So basically you want to just get it to a boil Once it gets to a boil, bring it down to a simmer and then basically leave it for about 30 minutes. Just sort of simmering away. I'll see if I can add in an extra little bit. There we go, lovely leeks and onions. And yeah, so I think I'll just probably pop my potatoes in just now. So they're roughly about the size that you want your potatoes. I like big chunks, so you can make some big chunks, and then even with the smaller potatoes, just make some smaller chunks. As long as they're chunks. Chunks are good. So that's the potatoes in. I'm just going to leave that for a little bit, let it sort of start boiling, and then once it's boiling, I'll basically turn the heat off, let it simmer, pop the lid on, and then come and check back on it in, I think, you know, every 10 minutes or so, just basically check on it, just to make sure that it's not dying. Right, here's a halfway through update. It's sort of boiling away nicely. I've just got it on a nice simmer. It's sort of, was it low, medium low sort of heat. You basically want to just keep cooking it until these babies, these potatoes, basically until they start to soften. And when they get nice and soft, that's when we'll start dealing with this, the last part, before obviously you would serve it. So pop the lid on there, let it simmer for, as I say, just keep checking on it every 10 minutes or something like that. And then towards the end we'll start seasoning with some salt and pepper. Okay, so this is what we're looking for, nice and bubbling away, and the potatoes are now starting to break up. So when they're nice and soft, what we want to do is we want to grab, well, I'm going to grab one of these. This is a tatty masher, or a potato masher, that you would use to mash up potatoes when you're making, surprisingly enough, mashed potatoes. I do not have a blender, so this is the best thing that I can use. So I'm going to take this, mash that, and I'll show you what it looks like. So once you've mashed it up, you should have something that looks a bit like that. Nice wee little chunks of potato. You can obviously leave bigger chunks in. I think there are bigger chunks towards the bottom of this. All that you really want to do from there is season it with some salt and pepper. Now, last time I made this, I put too much pepper in, and that was about half of a teaspoon. So today I'm going to put in 1/4 teaspoon and see where we go. In terms of salt, obviously salt is different. Everyone's got a different preference for salt. So just basically season it to your own particular liking. So that's it, folks. Tattie and Leek soup. Now, there's only one other thing which goes best with Tattie and Leek soup, and that's as much bread as you can possibly imagine. Take the butter out the fridge, get as many slices of bread as you want, butter up those slices of bread, put that into a bowl, dip the bread in, and it will make you feel amazing. Now, let me know in the comments below whether you want me to add something a little extra to this particular soup. In the fridge, I still have about half of a haggis pudding left, which we had at the weekend. So I still have half of a haggis pudding. Let me know if you would like me to try tomorrow cooking some of that haggis pudding and crumbling it into that soup. Let me know whether you think I should try that. If not, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make as much soup as you want. It's coming up to the winter. It's so quick and easy to make. It's taken me 35-45 minutes to make, and this will last for days. You know, so once it's cooled down, put it in a container, keep it in the fridge. You can put it in the freezer as well. Keep it in the freezer, defrost it whenever you fancy some soup. It's good. It's good for you. So there we go. Tattie and Leek soup, brought to you by the Scottish History Podcast. Camera around so I can say cheerio. I'm now away to eat as much of that soup as I damn well want to.